Leigh, we just talked about in the first part of our interview your evolution from being born with a disability, what you've overcome there, moving into the business or the business world of beauty, or the beauty world of business, and how unusual, you really broke some glass ceilings coming in as a woman. I don't like the word disability. Right. I think it's just, you're unique, you're different. We all are. We all share those things. Yeah. But for you, it's an extra challenge, and you have just blown the top off of the spa industry here in our region.
Thank you.
So you started this business, you started your spa business in Tri-Cities 5 years ago.
Yes.
Your goal was to make it to a 6-figure income.
Yes.
And you did that within your second year.
Correct.
That's insane. You know that, right?
I do know that. I do know that's why I got Paul Mitchell's attention. Yes.
Yes. And here's the thing. So for business owners or people who are considering going into business, what would you say are your top 2 components? What did you focus on that created this success in the beauty business?
So the top 2 things I would say is recognizing my demographic, because my demographic is the outsider. My demographic is my perfect client is the one that may get Botox, but she doesn't always get Botox. Maybe she doesn't want to get fillers at all. Maybe she wants to choose the non-invasive route. She's not afraid of spending money or being aggressive, but she just doesn't want to do any alterations or anything that's going to really change the shape of her overall. She still wants movement in her face. And I really recognize that those clients were really underrepresented in the beauty industry. Okay. We are a country that is far too driven by the pharmaceutical industry, and that is bleeding over into the subjectiveness that is beauty. And I think a lot of us are losing our uniqueness in the way we look, because we all have the same eyebrow, we all have the same lips, we all have the same cheeks. And I feel like I don't judge. A lot of my friends do those things. I mean, I'm friends with spa owners, many spa owners. So it's not a judgment. It is that's not me, and that's not usually my client. I feel like there was nowhere for my demographic really to go and feel sacred and not feel judged. Yes. And not feel like they weren't good enough if they didn't come to this altar of beauty with willingness to get, $7,000 worth of work done or $1,700 worth of Botox done every 4 months. It's just not, I just don't subscribe at all to that way of thinking. Mm-hmm. So recognizing that my clients were underrepresented was my first, and really catering to those people was my first win. Mm-hmm. And then really, this is going to sound so common sense, but I feel like in today's day of social media, and we are dependent on electronics, especially now, it'll be interesting to see what happens post-COVID, since so much is Zoom. Mm-hmm. But there's an entire generation of people who's lost their customer service skills and their client relations skills. So just treating people the way I wanted to be treated. And I'm not doing anything that's like, I'm not a very fluffy person. I'm not doing anything that is over the top VIP treatment. I'm not a concierge at a 5-star hotel. I'm literally doing some of the basics. Greeting them, making them feel special, remembering what's going on in their life, not judging them, telling them every time they enter and they leave that they're beautiful, because I 100% believe that they are. Mm-hmm. And I feel like in today's day, a lot of that stuff is missing. Yes. And that's really, those are the 2 things that have helped me build such a big clientele.
I love it. And I love, you and I have discussed this about relationship, that sometimes we look at the bottom line before we look at the relationship. Yeah. And if you have those relationships, people will come back.
I agree.
If you love on them, they're going to come back. Yeah. If you make them feel special and beautiful, they're going to come back because you're feeling that inside of them. Yeah. And it's not a beauty product.
No.
It's a feeling. It's a relationship. And I wish more people recognized how important relationships are in whatever business you have.
I agree.
It's the relationship first.
Yes.
And you figured that out, and boom.
Yeah.
There you go.
I'm hoping to create as big of a clientele in Spokane as I had in Tri-Cities. I also have a beauty business training company called Vein Industry Elevation. And that business sort of took off during COVID, where I train other estheticians and other makeup artists to do some of the more basics that they don't want to go back to a beauty school and learn. Maybe they want to. The beauty industry is one of the fastest changing and evolving and most money making industries out there, and people will spend money on beauty before they buy a new couch or before they buy a new car. They'll spend money on that. So I'm hoping that I can create kind of a unique niche in Spokane as well. All my clients have been amazingly wonderful, and I really feel like if you just open your heart up, and your clients will find you, and I don't have to worry about what the esthetician 3 blocks over is doing, because it is not a competition. Your clients will find you based on the way you treat them.
I agree that. So talking about the ever-changing beauty industry,
yes,
what's trending now?
Well,
so here's the thing. Do you have people, and I've done some research online, so many filters, right?
Oh, yes.
Every picture's filtered. So women now want to look like
a filter.
Their filtered picture.
Which is why the Medi-Spa industry is now is so successful, because they, and granted, I'm sure I'm not, I don't own a Medi-Spa. I have a combination of clinical and holistic. So I know that it takes a lot more skin therapy rather than just injections to get, but the movement lines that people lose as a result of a lot of fillers and injections, that will help create more of a blurred effect with your complexion. And then, quite honestly, YouTube changed the entire beauty industry 1,000%. People weren't coming anymore to makeup artists and asking, how do I use this? They are buying it. You have these tutorial makeup artists that will do tutorials from their privacy of their own home. People can go home, watch it 50,000 times, rewind it, stop, look foolish, look lovely, feel like they are not embarrassed. It's just them at home. So tutorial makeup artists really did change the makeup industry 1,000%. From a skincare perspective, skin care is now super popular. And what my business does is I try to get, I attract a lot of introverts, weirdly, because I'm quite an extrovert, but I attract a lot of people who may have never had a facial before, and they don't like people touching them. So they want to come in and get a couple of facials, but then they want to know, how do I do this at home? And so I sell a wide variety of the aesthetics tools that you can use, I can teach you how to use them. They're legal to use. They're not some huge, big secret. And that's sort of I found a lot of success with in Spokane.
Well, I'll just plug this because you set me up with a skincare regimen that I had not used before. And just using it, of course, she asked what my commitment level was for it. Because will you use one product, 2 products,
or 75?
Or 75. I told her to load me up, and I have to tell you, I've gotten more compliments on my skin since using this. And I've 2 months. Yeah, I've been using it 2 months and I can't even believe it.
Well, and you got fiberblasted too, and that's a big one. Yes.
I got fiberblasted.
Yes.
I did get fiberblasted. Yes. That was quite a unique and crazy experience. Yes. But it was fun.
It was fun. Yes.
And it really helped even out my skin. I grew up in Phoenix, sun worshiper, right? Just like all the women in our demographic, we used baby oil
and tanning beds.
Sun and tanning beds, and just that's what we did. And now we're paying for it.
Yes, we are.
So in your industry, we've got to have a funny story because it's the beauty industry.
Yes.
And what's not funny about that?
Oh, I know.
Really.
And it's never boring.
No, I imagine not.
Yeah.
So what's your best, let's do a Bridezilla story. You guys will watch that show.
So I have, in Tri-Cities, I had a huge bridal business. I had a staff in Tri-Cities, but when COVID came, our lease, we were already laid off for a long time. We were considered non-essential by the governor. So my lease renewal period happened during that time. We decided to let go of our Tri-Cities location and just focus on Spokane. And I've missed the brides because there were no weddings, right? Yeah. So I had a pretty big bridal business. I would do between 20 and 40 brides a year, makeup.
That's quite a bit.
Yeah. And I had a staff that was awesome and helped, but you never really know what you're going to get when you go to, and every bride says, I'm just so easygoing and low maintenance and it's going to be fine. And then we do
famous last words.
Yeah. And then we do the 2.5 hour trial and we really figure out what she wants. And then I really spend a lot of time hand holding the brides, because when you get in the chair on the event day, if I've got 6 women that we have to glam up, I have a tight timeline. We have, what time does your photographer want you in dress for first look? So you can see some crazy stuff. There's always tension and stress and sometimes a lot of alcohol. So I've got 2 of my most unique experiences. One was a bride. I was in this old house that was a mansion, but and my wheelchair didn't fit in the door. And I had one of my friends just pick me up and put me in there, and then put my wheelchair in, fold my wheelchair up and bring me in. Because I'm like, it's fine. I've got everything I need. They can bring me food. I've got a toilet. Like literally, they can just bring him in.
Yeah.
Well, the bride ended up calling the police on her own mom that day, because there was so much alcohol involved. So I didn't see a lot of what was going on down below because I was trapped in the bathroom. It was literally a makeup artist hostage situation. And I came out and I was like, what in the heck? But my timeline stayed intact in that first look. Yep. And
so mom wasn't at the wedding.
No, there's all sorts of family dynamics, you see. I think mom was sad that she couldn't be there, and there must have been some, I don't know. I don't ask. I'm one of those, I don't
just better,
really care.
Right?
Just sit in the chair and let's get your lashes on. So, and don't cry.
Yeah. How did you get the lashes on through the tears?
Well, we had to do it several times, and then you really glue the sides, and then I always instruct my brides, dab, don't wipe, and then just, if you feel it flapping, just press. Mm-hmm. Nobody will see. You'll feel it before anybody sees. So don't rip it off. And
advice.
Mm-hmm.
So what, for the ladies watching and the men?
Yes.
We're not going to forget you guys.
No.
What advice? Let's go with the 50 and over, 45 and over,
So
what advice?
For women, my biggest advice is anybody over 45, you will age yourself 10 years if you wear the wrong foundation. That less is more on the skin. You may still really do up your eyes and really do a dramatic lip, but when your skin, when you are wearing the wrong foundation, it will settle into every crevice and tiny little fine line that you may not have noticed when you were putting it on that morning, because you had just gotten out of the shower, you've used all your serums, and now at 2:00 in the afternoon, you're suddenly a 200-year-old scaly dragon. And you do not know what is happening. So I always tell people less is more. Always try to go for a tinted sunscreen rather than a foundation.
Okay.
And then another thing, like we talked about, is making sure that you understand what ingredients your skin actually responds to.
Okay.
Rather than just buying 100 things that you're not going to use. Really,
we call it I have the graveyard of skin
Yes.
skincare and makeup, the graveyard underneath my bathroom sink.
Yes.
And you pay so much for it, you hate to throw it out, but you haven't used it for 10 years.
And if you don't like it, I always tell people also, if you don't like the way something feels or looks on your face, or if you don't like the smell or anything like that, if it's an anti-aging product, use it from the neck down. And women, we forget about our décolletés, and we can age ourselves.
For the just layman.
It is your chest area.
So
yep.
the neck and chest?
Correct.
Okay,
and
décolleté. I like that.
And I always say go all the way down to your bra line or below on all of your products, and that will help keep your décolleté and your face the same tone, because
and your chest, everything's all décolletéed up.
All décolletéed up. A lot of products, serums.
Are you seeing more men come in?
Most of the men that I have as clients are spouses of my female clients.
Okay.
I don't do any body waxing or anything like that. So unless a man really wants to have a facial, but I can do like folliculitis beard treatments. I can do a lot of those things. So I would never not have a male client. I just don't get a lot of them calling asking for
spot treatments,
facial like female clients.
Well, I think there's probably kind of a taboo for men, and it seems like men are getting more conscious of their skin and their body,
absolutely.
taking care. I mean, we all are, right? Thank you, the internet, and so that's interesting. That maybe that's another time we'll talk about men in the beauty industry. I think that would be equally as interesting.
Yes.
So listen, we're getting to the end of our time together. Let's plug. You let everybody know where you're at, where they can find you.
So the name of my company is Vanity Makeup and Skin. I am located at 421 West Riverside in Suite 820 in downtown Spokane in the Paulson Center.
Yes.
And I specialize in anti-aging and retexturing. I was one of the first certified fibroblast technicians in Washington State. I've done over 360 treatments. And I would love to have you as a client. I'm available on social media, Facebook and Instagram, Vanity Makeup and Skin, AND. And skin, and then at www.vanitymakeupandskin.com, and I'm on Snapchat and TikTok and everything.
Fantastic.
I had to keep up with the kids.
Yeah, we have to learn some new social media connections.
Yes.
Yeah, TikTok.
Yes.
Oh my word.
Yeah.
So, anyways, well, thank you.
Thank you.
You are amazing. Listen, this is a woman you want to know.
Thank you.
And,
oh my gosh, thank you.
She's not only an amazing human being, but as a business owner, she's inspirational. And as an anesthetician and makeup artist, there's no better.
Thank you.
So
I really appreciate that, and I'm honored, and I'm so proud of you.
Well,
you're my first
thanks.
friend, and now it's a hostage situation.
Now it's a hostage situation. Okay. At least nobody's been arrested.
No, not yet. That's
okay.
Right.
So I want to thank y'all for joining us again. Come back. And we'll see you on Business Talks. I'm Lana Smith.